Yeah, no. Um, just in case anybody was wondering or slightly concerned, yes, Jack Perry still has a fascination with glass as he used it in his match. Darby Allin still has a death wish for having this match, and AEW still has Sting, complete with Tony Schiavone intro, which has become Sting's Kung Fu grip. Remember back in the day when they used to sell toys complete with Kung Fu grip? That is Tony Schiavone's intro for Sting. Why is Sting back? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
Like, he had an awesome, and yes, I said something was awesome about AEW. He had an awesome retirement. He had an awesome send-off. Why are you back? Go sit down by Garrett, borrow some of his insure.
People can't let it go. They can't let it go.
I will say this about All In. The Danielson Strickland match wasn't half bad. Like, it was a decent match. I liked it.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
And
it wasn't bad at all.
It was very, very wholesome at the scrum afterwards for Daniel Bryan to sit there holding his daughter Birdie and talking about how Birdie said, "Dad, you're the best wrestler in the world." And he's like, "No, there's better wrestlers. You know, there's great wrestlers out here, but you're the best in the world," which is, you know, trademark CM Punk. But it was a very wholesome moment. And he said, "Well, if I'm the best there is at this," trademark Chris Jericho, then why am I quitting? Why am I stopping doing this? Well, because you love me. It was such a wholesome moment. And Daniel Bryan all but told everybody that he's done with his in-ring work until Wednesday when he shows up with the belt and is not done.
Yep. What? And the entire scrum moment completely wiped away.
Yes. And this is why we call it the clown show.
Because Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him, has a freaking death wish, just like a lot of these guys do, and he's not going to be happy until he's in a wheelchair.
Now, there are a couple of things that I did get a chuckle out of. MJF telling Ricochet, "I don't need to marry a ring announcer to have someone scream my name." Classic MJF. I dug that. You know me, I'm a mic guy. If you can work the mic, I'm impressed.
Just understand that what we saw on Wednesday with Ricochet was the epitome of every time you hear me say the words, "Then what next?"
Oh yeah, because they're going to.
We are going immediately to Ricochet Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going immediately there. We're going to hot shot that, and when Ricochet loses that match, and he will, when he loses that match, he will be in the same position as Miro, Keith Lee, Malachi Black, everybody who came over and now means nothing.
Yeah, you got your 3 pops and we're done with you.
Yep.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah. But the one guy that, you know, could have helped us that we let go because the boss doesn't know how to tell people how to handle their business, that guy is still going to live rent-free in our head a year later because everything we do on TV calls back to that moment. And the guy that we're now pushing to the world title against Bryan Danielson is the guy who owes everything he's got right now to a guy who doesn't work for their company anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to spend all this money on all these people to come over, and we're just going to hot shot him out of existence.
Couple of things to note. Do I understand that they're not going to do anything with this? Yes, I do, because these clowns can't, write their way out of a paper bag. But a couple of things of note. Luchasaurus came out as Luchasaurus, not as Killshot. They could do something with that. Are they going to? Of course they're not going to, because that would make sense.
No.
I thought it was great. I was like, okay, they're finally doing something. No, they didn't. No. He helped Christian win.
Yeah, it was a red herring to make everybody think he was upset about the previous loss earlier in the night so that he could cost Christian that match, and then no, he helped him. Because, wrestling, the most important wrestling trope is, of course, the swerve, bro.
So, one other thing that's happened that has led to speculation, because that's the only way they're going to keep them talking about it, is the speculation. John Moxley makes it very clear. This is not your show anymore, Tony. Or Tony, this is not your show anymore. He's pointing at Tony Schiavone. I don't
Is he confused? Does he think Tony is the owner?
one too many shots to the head. I don't know. But
Is
the
it Randy
speculation
Demon's
going
back?
out
Is he drunk?
there, the speculation going out there, which these people are putting far too much thought into this. The speculation is that Shane McMahon is showing up to take over the show from Tony Khan.
At this point, I would not be shocked.
I wouldn't either. And it would,
because to me, Moxley, all of Moxley's posturing over the last 5 years, anytime he gets in front of a microphone in the last 5 years, all he could do is talk about how ridiculous Vince McMahon was, how ridiculous his last year in WWE was, how unhappy he was, how he doesn't want anything to do with it, how he would never go back, blah, 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 blah. If AEW puts him in a storyline with a McMahon, I will absolutely die of laughter because of course they would, because all of these guys who leave and run their mouth are huge hypocrites, all of them.
Yep, you'll be able to say, oh, how the turns have tabled. That, for all of those that say I don't give AEW a fair shake, there you go. I've done notes from the clown show, and I will give AEW All In live from Wembley Stadium 3 clown faces. Exactly. That's the end of Tony's theme music. So that brings us to Bash at Berlin predictions. This is what we've all been waiting for. This Bash at Berlin's going to be good, so we're going to run through them. Let's see what we got. We've got the Women's Tag Team Championship. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn as champions versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Go.
Jade and Bianca.
I say the champs are going to retain, much to their own surprise, because they're not going to see that coming. And this is going to be the seed, or at least be, if this is not the seed, if the whole not using Jade was a seed, this is going to be the watering of the seed that starts the beef between Bianca and Jade. That's my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen. We've got Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan.
Dom and Liv over Dirty, and Damian eats the pin, probably because of Finn.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I've got Dom and Liv going over Dirty, but Mommy finally gets her hands on Dom.
Oh, there'll be a nice spot with Rhea and Dom, yeah.
Yeah, that's got to happen. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match.
I think that Punk finally gets a win in the feud. But I think after the win is over, he takes a monster beatdown, which leads us to Bad Blood, which would probably do Hell in a Cell.
I agree with, that we've got basically the same thing. I feel Punk has to win this one because it doesn't make sense for Bad Blood if Drew wins this one. I feel like the rubber match is going to be Bad Blood. I feel also like it's going to be a Hell in a Cell. And I think in order to set that up, Punk has to win this one. We've got the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. Match of the night contender right here. What do you got?
I think Cody goes over. I think it's clean. And I think it's a long match, probably longest one of the night. And I think we have the begrudging handshake at the end, but noticeable frustration on the face of KO. And then I think we pay off the storyline with the turn on SmackDown next week.
I like it. I've got Cody going over, clean also, but we start to see the shades of Owens' turn.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it'll be on SmackDown this week, if it'll be on or not SmackDown after and SmackDown after that, but it will be soon, and there will be some kind of bad blood thing with
They
Cody,
could
and
possibly save it for the first SmackDown on USA.
that would be cool. That because that's coming up September 13th, I
13th.
believe it is.
13th. Yeah.
Then we have the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus Randy Orton. What do you have?
I think Randy loses. I really do. I think probably Ludwig Kaiser does something, but I don't see Gunther losing in Berlin this quick.
All right, I disagree. Now, to a point, I believe you're right about Ludwig Kaiser getting involved, and I don't think Gunther loses the belt, but I think he loses the match because we're going to get interference after the Ludwig Kaiser thing. We're going to get interference from returning Giovanni Vinci setting up matches at Bad Blood, whether that be a tag match, Randy and Giovanni and Gunther and Ludwig, or singles matches for the two sets. I think that's what we get.
I mean, that's absolutely plausible. That's a plausible ending. And if he does lose, I would think that would have to be, it would have to be in a way not to lose the belt. I just don't see the belt coming off of Gunther this quick.
No, it's not. I don't think he loses the belt.
Unless their plan is to flip-flop the title a few times, maybe a best of 7, something, some kind of series, unless they plan to flip-flop the title to get Randy 2 more world title reigns, to get him to 16 so that he's tied with Cena, because then I could see Mania, Cena, Orton, Gunther, with the whole idea being either Cena or Orton wins, they break Flair's record.
See, and I don't even know that you put Gunther in that match. I imagine the build just on that. You've got Cena, you've got Orton, which everybody already wants anyway. Cena versus Orton at WrestleMania. One of these two men is about to make history.
Yeah.
So,
well, they can't make history unless a third party is the champion. Because if one of them is the champion going in, then one of them already made history.
No. Randy wins number 16 and Randy's champ.
But that's what I'm saying. If he beats Cena, then he doesn't have a chance to make history. The only way that each guy makes history if they're both 16 is if third party is the title holder.
I get that. Mikey saying Rick beat me to the punch on that. Yeah, you gentlemen are correct. And I'm glad you're talking about triple threats right now, because now that we've got all of our predictions in and set, we'll see how things go Saturday. For those that are going to watch that are used to the 6 and 7 o'clock p.m. shows, this one starts at 11:30 Central Time. So just a heads up for those that are going to want to watch it. This one's going to start around lunch. Because, of course, they're in Berlin. That brings us to September 14th, live at the TMW Event Center, Levelland, Texas. BCW Live to Rise. Now, in past shows, you've seen myself, you've seen Rick. We've been holding down commentary. Not this time. Not so much. Rick, of course, will be at commentary, flanked on either side by Little Guapo and Baby Bruss. They'll be there doing commentary with you. Your boy is the GM for the night. I don't know what the hell Mike was thinking, but we're going to make it work. And the reason I say that I'm glad you're bringing up a triple threat is we had at Hot Blooded, we had a couple of number one contender matches. We had Jeb going up against Phoenix, and there was a questionable finish to that match. And so we had Mike on the show. We asked Mike about it. We now have, for the BCW Heavyweight Championship, Jeb Bingham versus Justin Taylor versus Phoenix. The winner walks out with the whole shebang. I can't wait for that one. Do you realize? I mean, nobody has to say anything about Justin Taylor. Justin Taylor is, I believe the phrase is the personification of motivation. he is the living proof. But Jeb Bingham, if you've watched BCW wrestling for the last year like we have, you have this Jeb Bingham, but you have today's Jeb Bingham. That's an entirely different athlete. And I use that word in every sense of what it is. Uh, Jeb has become an absolute beast. And then you throw the X factor in there of Phoenix. Phoenix will come in there and he's ready to fight. So, what do
Does
you
anybody
think?
remember that Phoenix is a Marine?
Yes. And
You know that Phoenix is one of those people that could kill you with his pinky?
mhm.
Okay.
Phoenix is one of those. I come from a family of Marines. That's the reason I can say this. Phoenix is one of those people that makes the perfect Marine. If he can't hurt somebody, he will hurt himself. Like he is the perfect Marine.
Yeah.
And Phoenix, if you're watching this, I make jokes and stuff, but thank you for your service. We certainly appreciate you. But this match, and take all of that, take as good as all three of these guys are, and now you're putting the BCW World Heavyweight Championship on the line, or the Heavyweight Championship on the line. Man, this is going to be one for the books.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. I mean, there's not a single element of this match that's not a must see.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And as much as I'm looking forward to that, there's some burning questions that I need answered, and that they've been swirling around all over the place. Jason Zane at Hot Blooded walks out on his longtime partner, his longtime friend, his co BCW Old School Tag Team Champion in Nathan Briggs, tells him, "You should have taken, I told you to take this seriously," and just walks out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are now going to step in the ring one-on-one in what may be one of the biggest grudge matches of the year. Like, who knows you better than your tag team partner?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to be one of those matches where I like to say that I could see kind of where this, I don't know where this is going to go, because both of these guys, Jason Zane, an absolute mat technician, no questions there. Nathan Briggs, just a solid brawler.
This match is extremely personal.
Yes.
Both guys have something to prove. And at the same time, neither one of them really has anything to lose. So you've got a situation that could get very ugly very quick. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go, because I was shocked at what happened at the last event. So I want to see where it goes, because I feel like this could be extremely, extremely violent if it goes too far.
And I'm the one that has to keep that from happening.
Good luck.
Yeah. Mikey says in the chat, there's an extremely high levels of resentment towards Briggs from Zane. He had to hear this from Zane on a phone call. I can only imagine. If you've watched promos, if you've watched how they interact, Zane has been for a while trying to get Briggs serious about what's going on. And when you get Briggs in the ring, like I said, he's a powerhouse, man. He gets in there and he handles business. But I don't know, this one, the potential for violence in this one is off the charts. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to that. Of course, we also have the Rated E for Everyone Open Challenge. That challenge put out here on the podcast by the one, the only, the OTB Lilith Blood. All comers, she doesn't care, because her fists are, as we said, rated E for everyone. I can't, there's so many different ways this could go. And I love Lilith Blood to death. She wakes up, she chooses violence, and she's ready to fight. And I'm about it. But the different directions this could go, like there's just a laundry list of people that could answer that challenge. You know, what if Ced answers that challenge?
I mean, that's certainly an option. That match has already been announced, yes?
The Open Challenge has been announced. We
Okay.
don't know who the takers are
So
going to
the
be.
Open Challenge has been announced. How many days do we have until that event?
We have 15 days.
Okay, we have 15 days. There's a lot of people on the roster at BCW that have now 15 days to think about what they might want to do. But here's the other thing: West Texas is a big place.
Yes, it is.
And as much as I am always in the corner of Lilith Blood, always in the corner of Lilith Blood, West Texas sometimes not the place you want to throw out Open Challenge.
No,
Because
and
there are a
been
lot of
proven time and
people,
again.
there's a lot of people, male and female, who could take that opportunity to try and make an impact at her expense. So this is one that I think really needs to be watched.
Oh yeah.
Need to pay attention to the movement on social media, pay attention to the chatter, because this has the potential to be very explosive.
Well, and I will send a message to any and all potential opponents. Bring a lunch, because you're not just going to walk in and beat up Lilith Blood. Like if you win this match, it'll be because you earned it. I mean, Lilith Blood is, when I say she wakes up and chooses violence, that's it's real.
It is real. It is real.
So this one, explosive from the jump. I wish I. There's so like there's a laundry list of people that could answer this. Some of them, you may bring up a good point. Some of them not even in BCW right now. It could be somebody from another promotion that says, "Hey, come over there and I'm gonna handle this." You know, Lord help you if you do. But it's gonna be one to watch. We've got our BCW Texas champion putting it on the line. Mikey's saying, if I were Chris Watson, I'd sit on the back row while he's watching. Yeah, that might be a good idea. I forgot. We're gonna have our
Chris Watson
presence graced with Chris Watson.
Chris Watson don't want none of Lilith Blood.
No,
He
he does not. Daddy Boss saying, and no Paula Fate anywhere. Boo.
I don't really know if you pay attention to kind of what's been going on with Paula lately. I mean,
yeah, it might not.
might not be a great idea to have Paula there anyway, because I mean, she's not exactly what I would call the most trustworthy person in wrestling right now.
Yeah, ask Ryan Justice about that.
Yeah, ask Justin Taylor about that.
Ask Justin about it. That's right. We do have the BCW Texas Championship on the line. Logan Knight, our champion, versus the #1 contender, the Thunderbird, Damo McCullough. Now, look, I'll make it straight, and I'm sure Mikey will agree with me. Nobody save Mikey wants to see one of those lariats take Logan Knight's head off more than myself. But Damo is going to have to understand who he's in the ring with. I may not always agree with the way Logan Knight wins his matches. Like, there have been some dirty tactics. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, there was a dog chain that didn't get seen in Mikey's match, but there was dog chain that didn't get seen in Mikey's match. Well, I may not agree with the way he wins his matches. He does win his matches. And Damo's going to have to be prepared for that.
Yep. Logan Knight is very intelligent.
Yes.
He's always thinking. He's always plotting. He's always scheming. Damo is also somebody who is very hot-headed. And if he allows Logan Knight to get in, Logan Knight will probably end up retaining his championship.
It's going to be interesting to see which way it goes.
Is that doofus in the red and black going to be out there again?
You know, you never can tell. I know that Logan has the Country Devil in his back pocket. I'm not sure if that's a card he plays or not.
Does that guy have a legal manager's license? Why is he out there?
I mean, he's the manager. Manager for we call, I've referred to him before as the Merc manager because he is for hire for whoever's got the money to make things happen.
Anybody who has the opportunity to sign a contract with Logan Knight at BCW for any kind of a match, first thing you should negotiate is that fool needs to be away from the ring.
No, absolutely. And then, of course, there's so much more going to be going on the 14th. But the one thing that is going to be very interesting for me is going to be the conversation going to be had between myself and the Concrete Gorilla, Big Sid. Middle of the ring, me and him.
So is there gonna be staff in between?
No. Mikey has made this very clear when he was on the show. I am not to touch Big Sid. Big Sid is not to touch me. If he does, there is a $5,000 fine. And I've heard rumors of suspension. So I have given my word to Mike. I am not going to put my hands on Big Sid, lucky for him. And I don't feel that he's going to put his hands on me. We're just going to have a conversation.
Well, I am going to keep my fingers crossed for you, my friend. And I will keep a good thought for you. And well, I will make sure that if that goes wrong, that your boys eulogize you well on the show.
Well, so. and I'm glad you bring them up, because setting the joking aside, I'm gonna send a little something out there to Sid. And Sid, if you're listening, if you're watching, hear this. If you don't hear anything else about the show tonight, hear this. I don't condone bullying. Bullying is not right at any point in anybody's life. But you chose to bully my kids. And you chose poorly. We're going to talk about that fact. And at some point, we're going to have to make that right. Yep. And we will discuss that. And we'll discuss how that's going to happen when you get face to face with me in the ring and find out what I've got to say to you. So,
right.
That conversation is happening.
Okay. I peed a little. So.
There's so much more going on this card. I'm going to blow right past that.
Oh, that was a good one, Daddy Boss.
A GoFundMe account, maybe a little bit. The main thing, there's so much more action going to be going on at BCW Live to Rise September 14th. Again, that's live, TMW Event Center. It's going to be a great time, but it's also going to be a great cause, because this show is to show appreciation to our first responders. So much so that Mike has said, if you are a first responder, let us know at the door. We want you to come in free of charge. We want to have our chance to show our appreciation to you for what you do for us, for our community, and for communities around Texas. So not just a great show, but a great cause. And of course, 1 week later, Squared Circle Pro Birthiversary, Jake's Back Room, September 21st. Axe from Demolition and the Warlord presenting the new West Texas Tag Team title belts to the winners of the tag tournament.
Yes. There will also be a meet and greet.
I'm going to need you to talk about that for just a second. I'll be right back. I know this is weird, but I'll be right back.
Okay. So, yes, September 21st, Birthiversary, Warlord of Powers of Pain, Demolition Axe, will be at Jake's Back Room. There will be a meet and greet earlier that day. I believe it's at 4 or 4:30, one of the two. We can talk about more about that in the weeks to come. But there is going to be a meet and greet. So it's $10 for Birthiversary, and you have to pay the $10 to get in to even be eligible to be part of the meet and greet. If you want to meet the Warlord or Demolition Axe, it's $25 a piece or $40 for the two. So $50 total will get you meet both legends, the full show Birthiversary live at Jake's Back Room. And anything as far as signatures items, there will be separate price lists for Warlord and Demolition Axe, whatever they're charging. That'll be their business. But yeah, that's going to be on September 21st. 11 matches that night.
11 matches. My apologies for running out. I'll be straight up with you. I had to go tell my grandson good night.
It's okay. But yeah, it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show.
And I'm looking forward to it. I hear tell that we may start seeing a few match announcements roll out in the near future.
Yeah, I mean the matches will start being announced probably middle of next week. Okay. Now we left Headlocks and Heat Waves. We knew that there is going to be a 6-man steel cage match that's already been announced publicly. It'll be Justin Taylor and Obi Bryant, Brick Savage versus Marquise Jackson, TJ Slater, and Nate Collins inside of a steel cage.
Let's hope it stays inside the steel cage.
We also know that Damo will be defending the SCP championship against Stavon Remsen. That has also been announced at the end of Headlocks and Heat Waves. That challenge was made and accepted. And we know that the SCP West Texas Tag Team Championship Tournament Final between Downfall Cathedral and Los Crudos will be taking place. So those 3 matches are pretty much already known, even though there hasn't been an official match card put out. But there will be 11 total matches that night. So that's just 3. So 8 more to come.
It's going to be a great time. And between BCW Live to Rise, Square Circle Pro Birth Anniversary, there's no better time to get out and catch West Texas Independent Wrestling, because this is the best of the best right here. You know, BCW in Levelland, Square Circle Pro in Lubbock, it doesn't get better. And I'm looking over, we're at that 9:28 mark. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Rick. Anything you want to say to the people watching, the people listening, the wrestling world in general?
Hey guys, dude, go support local wrestling. Wrestling on TV is great. Wrestling's in a really good place right now. If you like matches and moves, AEW is probably the show for you. You like wrestling stories, WWE is probably the place for you. Point is, there's something out there for everybody, but none of it happens without the independent scene. And that's go support local wrestling. If you're somebody who lives in West Texas, if you're within 4 hours of Amarillo or 4 hours of Odessa, there are 6 promotions out there for you to go watch. If you live in West Texas, there is no shortage of wrestling for you. You just have to leave your house, go buy a ticket, sit and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And I can't agree more with what you're saying. I mean, get out and watch some independent wrestling. I've thrown it out there before. I'll do it again. Like, my own son came to a point where he enjoys West Texas independent wrestling more than he did what he's seen on TV, because it's so unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's around that next corner. You don't know who's going to come out from behind that curtain, and you find yourself wanting it more and more and more. It is my drug. It is my drug of choice. Make sure you pick your tickets up for BCW Live to Rise. You can get them at Tobacco Express Liquors, or you can go to bcwprowrestling.com. Square Circle Pro Birth Anniversary, pick tickets up at the door, $10 at Jake's for 11 matches. You can't beat it. And I believe that's going to do it for us tonight. We will be back here next Thursday. I got everything rescheduled, worked out. Sam Stackhouse will be in the house next Thursday to talk wrestling and just chop it up about the biz in general. Until then, I want to thank everybody who's joined us tonight. You guys are awesome. Love it, each and every one of you. Rick, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. I know it was short notice, but I appreciate you doing it.
Always. Anytime you need me, I'm just a tap away.
And it's greatly appreciated. Until next Thursday, I'm Guapo. That's Rick Elzy. We're not your average marks. Catch you Thursday. Yeah.